act, the next thing you will hear is IPOP. Now, who are these IPOP? You say IPOP. IPOP say it is not us. Why don't you take time and investigate? It never happened. You know that in the East today, if anybody killed, they don't carry out investigation. So all they did is to do that to set Nnamdi Kanu up to kill him. Let me tell you, Nnamdi Kanu is the only one man after Utuku that Igbos are rallying around, have seen as a leader. So they don't want that to happen. And, well, we don't know what they plan to do, but we are watching. We know what they want to do.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Lolo Nneka Chimezie. I'm the president of Igbo Women Assembly.
Thank you.
Dear friends all over the world, lovers of freedom, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you might find yourself at this point in time. I want to welcome each and every one of us to this evening edition on BTV Europe. My name is Ikem Patrick DK. It's my pleasure to be here once again. And the flyer of this program have been circulating, and I believe that many are informed that will be coming today to grant an interview to a very, very, very daring, interesting personality, and in the person of Lolo Nneka Chimezie, who will be coming on board as soon as possible. But before we proceed, I want to urge Biafrans, lovers of freedom, followers of BTV Europe, our audience, to make sure that you tune in and share this program. We are on all platforms. We are on Rapture Media. We are also on Rapture Media Extension. We are on Biafra Echo. We are on Radio Biafra Live. We are on BTV Live. And we are transmitting to you right from Veneto, Italy. It is my pleasure to have you. I would like us to take a little time to listen to the clip of Lolo Nneka Chimezie, a clip that we just played a while ago. I would like us to listen to that clip once again, so
Have
that we'll be
never
able to
taken responsibility for any crime. In fact, what they keep saying is that we are not responsible. Nigerian security, do your job. In fact, they went as far as, in order to blackmail IPOP, did you know that the federal government engaged a Muslim jihadist in the person of Asede Kipo to go and guide Southeast? Did you know that the federal they broke a jail in Imo State, carried all the criminals, handed them over to Asede Kipo? He recruited them and poured them in Imo State. Did you know that the Bubago outfit is the outfit that the federal government used to carry out jihad in Imo State? And now what they were doing is that when they caged the media in Imo State, because when I confronted the media, why don't you report what is happening? They said they are caged, that they will only wait until the police release their report. It is based on the police report that they will write their own report. They caged it. They will perpetrate this act. The next thing you will hear is IPOP. Now, who are these IPOP? You say IPOP. IPOP say it is not us. Why don't you take time and investigate? It never happened. You know that in the East today, if anybody killed, they don't carry out investigation. So all they did is to do that to set Nnamdi Kanu up to kill him. Let me tell you, Nnamdi Kanu is the only one man after Utuku that Igbos are rallying around, have seen as a leader. So they don't want that to happen. And, well, we don't know what they plan to do, but we are watching. We know what they want to do.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Lolo Nneka Chimezie. I'm the president of Igbo Women Assembly.
Thank you.
Yes, it is my pleasure to welcome Lolo Nneka Chimezie, the president of Igbo Women's Assembly. Lolo, you're welcome to BTV Europe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. I'm glad to be here. And Anna Mazendebanye, they won.
Thank you very much, Lolo. It is also my pleasure to have you on BTV Europe. For me, it is an interesting day to have a one-on-one conversation and direct conversation with you, considering the passion you have shown on Igbo affairs. And I followed your trajectory for for a couple of years now, and like I've always said, you are an outstanding Igbo woman that have proven uh, capacity when it comes to advocacy for Ndi Igbo. Lolo, I want to ask you from the beginning. I want to ask you, um, what what is behind your passion? What drives your passion towards Igbo's advocacy?
Well, thank you very much, Patrick. This is a very interesting question. I think the passion is more of spiritual. You know, I think what I do is more of a call. I didn't just start. You know, at a time I was being disturbed about the situation of Ndi Igbo, the situation of Igbo land in general, especially as it affects our unity, our language, our culture, our tradition. In fact, everything about us was falling apart. At a time in our lives, I discovered that all we do is look for money. Everything about our core values is getting lost, and there is this thing in me that gives me sleepless nights. Okay, and I was having restless. I'm becoming more restless. In fact, at a point, it was as if I'm going to run mad over this issue. You know, when issues bother you too much, you don't have peace, you are not happy, you can't concentrate. And now I started having peace when I started. In fact, I had to visit at a time a psychiatric doctor to see if I'm okay mentally. But the man confirmed that I'm okay, that this could be some kind of spiritual problems. And I met a pastor who counseled me and told me to do whatever that is laid in my heart. When I receive these instructions, I should try my best to do it no matter how difficult. And you know, it's difficult to approach people and start telling people things that bother you. But if I don't tell, then it gives me sleepless nights and makes me uncomfortable. So I approach some women, especially as it concerns our language and culture. I gathered them and I told them that am having this urge for us to promote our language, culture, and then preach unity among Igbo people. And these women, of course, everybody saw the same problem. Okay, so we gathered and we started what we called Onyemananwanye in Lagos. And our main agenda is our language, how to get our children, how to develop Southeast, how to get our children back to Southeast, how to, you know, bring population back to Southeast, how to promote our culture, which is our identity. So we started, and from there, that was what I started doing. I think from 2018. You can imagine I had to call my husband because we were into joint business. We are very close together, and I knew that this very call is going to separate me from him, which I felt could, you know, could actually disturb him. I even had to sit him down to discuss and our relationship, and I advised that he should get another wife. So for you to know how much I'm willing to make this sacrifice for him to get another wife, that is not fair. That I should be traveling, leaving home, because I knew the job is going to make me travel oftentimes, because sometimes I get this message and I must leave home, you know, to travel. So when we discussed it, and of course he was with me when I was having these issues, these disturbances. When he saw that when I started doing this, I'm a very private person, naturally very private, though a no nonsense taking person, a due process kind of a person, but very private. Due to my kind of life, I don't really mix with people because I can hardly stay where, you know, corruption and all this bullshit happens. I can hardly stay without reacting. So that made me very reserved, very private. Except when something is going to affect me, of course I'll come out and act. And then for myself and my husband, we've done everything together, travel together, go to church together, and everything. So with this, I knew it's going to take me away from him. So we discussed our relationship. He gave me his support, he gave me his blessing, and I started traveling all over Southeast. I in fact I started moving around to see any group I can, you know, fall into to carry out to continue this campaign campaign of unity, campaign of promoting our language, because I had this vision one day which told me that your language is going to, you are going to lose your language. And I said it's impossible. And he said, okay, look at this narrative. He did this analogy. He said, your children, that was even when I took my children speaking Igbo language very seriously. Your children, do they speak Igbo? I said, no, but they hear. He said, that's the thing. Your children can hear Igbo, but they can't speak. So, which means their children cannot even hear, not to talk of speaking. So, that was when it made sense, because we were busy celebrating that our children can hear, but they cannot speak. So he said, with time, your language will go into extinction. And once your language goes into extinction, that's the end of your language. So that really pushed me. So I started moving around looking for a platform that we can carry on this campaign and spread this news wild. I went to so many of them, I don't want to call names. In Lagos, I keep on drifting from one organization to the other. Now, when I get into this organization, I end up quarreling with them because their agenda and what they do. In fact, I think almost all the groups were kind of political parties, an harness of political parties, but they use Igbo as a platform, to create this group, to attract government interest on them during elections. So I keep on drifting from place to place while we continue to grow our little Igbo language. And then another inspiration it gave me is that this analogy it gave me, which is still why I'm pushing what I'm pushing today. He said, your greatest strength is in your unity, but your downfall is in your disunity. Okay, he said, if Igbos can manage to stay together in unity, you can face the whole world. But your greatest weakness is your disunity, and your neighbors, they've noticed this, your weaknesses, and they are sponsoring it, making sure you are not united. That also become a campaign I had to champion, Igbo unity, for us to stay together. And I also came to understand the essence of that unity. So I keep on moving from ADF to I was a very important part of ADF. I thought we could work with Aliwo Development Foundation, then headed by Professor Timothy Osodema. And I realized that still yet, no matter how much they want to tell you their think tank, this thing is also built around politics. But I met this Honorable Mrs. Maria Okwo, who was the then president of Igbo Women Assembly. She was quite old. But when we started our group in Lagos, my group was pushing that we register it. I said, no, we can't register it. We must form something that will stay under one umbrella and start developing Igbo land. We can't keep on registering organization. Let us look for an organization that shares the same vision with us so that we can merge. They were like, who will be the leader? And I said, the leadership is not the issue. The issue is that we work together. Even if I'm the PRO, I can still work in the same capacity as the leader. But what is important is that unity, we must bring that unity. So eventually I met Mama Maria Okwo and we merged our group and Igbo Women Assembly. We merged and Mama was the president and I was the coordinator. Then Igbo Women Assembly was almost dead because the people that started Igbo Women Assembly were the big ladies of Southeast. People like Honorable Mrs. Maria Okwo, Mrs. Agui Ironsi, name Mrs. Ado Okwono, name all the big ladies. But again, it was built giving it a kind of political coloration, but at least they shared the same vision with us. When I read their constitution, I saw that they have the same vision with us and they are tired. Most of them were getting old. And again, because they made it an elite thing, so when they were growing old, the thing was just trying to die with them. But when I came in, I gave it this light. In fact, I breathed life into it. And under 1 year, Igbo Women Assembly resurrected. And when Mama saw what I was doing, she wrote a handwritten declaration making me the president. So that was how I became the president of Igbo Women Assembly, I think in 2021. And we started running with Igbo Women Assembly. That was a great platform for us to now continue to promote our language, continue to bring women together, and continue to do all we were doing. So the very first time I went viral was in Owerri when we did our Mother Tongue Day, because we celebrate United Nations Mother Tongue Day. There was a speech I gave there about our language. That was where I went viral. Then another place I went viral after the 2023 election, when Igbos were attacked. I have all those documentary with me, and I hope I can still lay my hands on them. You know, after that election, people did not know that Igbos were seriously attacked in Lagos. We visited, me and my team, Igbo Women Assembly, we visited all the areas where people were attacked, from Ijedodo to Abulado to Ebutemeta to the island. Everywhere Igbos were attacked, we were able to visit. In fact, in Abulado, people did not know that more than 10 Igbo youth were shot. In fact, we had to sneak into the military hospital. I think Navy Hospital was where they were treated, to get information, to interview these people that were shot, to get information. We wanted to push that case further, but because of lack of funds, we were new. Nobody was interested. And then I wasn't on social media. Nobody was interested in pushing that case. We just let it die. But before we left, we visited them, and that was where I stood and gave a speech to our people. It is time we start going home. It is time we go and develop our place. And I told them that, you see this market we're carrying up and down, if we manage to move them home, the Europeans will come down to Southeast to buy. The Hausas will come down to Southeast to buy. If we can go from here to China to buy, who says they will not come? It is better we go home and develop our own land. That was also a speech where I went viral. So now coming to my involvement in during the insecurity, that was actually what made me go viral. At a time, I live in Lagos and I do my business in Lagos. I'm a very successful businesswoman. So whatever I do, I fund it. I sponsor most of our events. So during the build up to the deportation, should I call it extradition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and the subsequent insecurity in the southeast, we just wake up to realize that we can no longer go home. This insecurity here and there. Of course, I live in Lagos, I'm safe. But I started having these disturbances to travel home. Each time there is an each time there is an attack in the southeast, for 1 week I might not sleep. That thing will be pushing me to go, because most of the report we get is anything that happen is ESN IPOB, and my spirit will tell me it's not true. My spirit will tell me that, and already I knew, I saw it in the vision, that coming together of the APC, the coming together of the Buhari and Tinubu, there is a jihad agenda underneath it. So when of course when Buhari took over, we started seeing these changes, a lot of harassment of Igbos, clamping down on IPOB and stuff. Of course, we all know that that is when this our problem started. The first time I have this urge to go and cover what was going on is when this youth, when there's a protest, okay, and we are shooting, we realize that the reports of the shooting and the activities of the military and the rest of it is being downplayed. It's not properly reported. Now you will hear that so many people were shot. With honestly, we that live in Lagos, and I'm sure those of them that live abroad, we don't used to believe those reports. But when you look closely, there is a kind of stylishly killing people and selling it, and that was going on. Now, when I now believe that report was when our then President Muhammad Buhari, was interviewed in Al Jazeera, he actually um he actually considered that they shot unarmed protesters. When they asked him why, he said that is what they deserve. That kind of put shock and fear in me. So this is true. But before then, I've been having this urge to go and cover it. Even though I didn't really like this issue of people exposing themselves. You protested first, they shot you. Why do you keep protesting? I mean, you should have looked for another way around. That was why when they said sit at home, I was very, very happy when they used sit at home, you know, as a form of protest. But then when there's something started increasing, killings, we cannot kill, the sleepless nights I was having started become becoming rampant, more rampant with me. Now, people were praising me for traveling home, but I knew that I was in a suicide mission. I was on this suicide mission for 3 years, moving from 2023, I think 2022, up to 2025. I was moving around. I would leave my home in Lagos, go to the places where this thing happened, to get first-hand information, because I knew that there were a lot of cover-up of what is going on in the southeast. Now, what made me actually, I was pushed to go. I have this sympathy for IPOB. To be honest with you, what is this sympathy? At a time, some people approached me to join IPOB. I did not join IPOB for a particular reason. I'm a very expressional person. I will express myself. I cannot be in a place where I cannot fully express myself, or I will be caged. I cannot fully walk, the way I should walk. But for the fact that for once after the civil war, after Ojuku, somebody come out and our youth were able to rally around him in that number. In fact, at that time, IPOB and Mazin Namdekal had 90% support of all the Igbos. I can assure you of that. And I was one of those that had that sympathy, that had that love. In fact, there was a day, I think in Afari Bek, in his village, where he people gathered. I don't know if Guinness World Record. I think they have it that this is the first time we are having an assembly of people, over 100,000 people gathered. I watched it online and I cried that day. I don't know whether a cry of I don't know whether it is a cry of joy, but I know I shedded tears. I saw through them the pain of our youths. I saw through them the quest for freedom and the genuinity. I saw this genuinity of the people, especially those that were on ground. They held hands together, and they were this passionate about what they do. And I cried. And that day, I swore to give my support no matter what. Though I knew there are going to be issues, but I believe that no matter what the issues are, we can, as the issues comes up, they will be addressed. So that was when I had this sympathy. So when the blackmail of IPOP started in the southeast, it affected me, it touched me. And then I made this analogy. I said these people has been with us from 2014, at least when we begin to know IPOB till now. We've not known them to be violent. Number one. Number two, Igbos are not known to be violent. Um, Now, all this while, there have been the ones that were being shot. We've not heard that during their protest, there was a kind of exchange of fire between them and the military. The report we have is the military shot them, the military killed them. So they can't just overnight become this violent, no matter what. That's number one. Number two, no matter what, an IPOB member, even though, IPOB as a group cannot order the killing of people in the burial, the killing of people in the wedding, the kidnapping of people. No, even if Mazen Namde Kalo, there was a death sentence on him, they will not do it. So now I now ask myself, what can you contribute? What can you do? You've been having this urge to go and cover this, and you're afraid for your life. But these people has been dying. People have been dying. Do you know whether if you take this trip, it can save people dying? What can you do for your people? What can you do for your tribe? Do you think your life is more valuable than the Igbo land you claim to try to save? With all these questions, I packed my bag and I started traveling to the east, taking all those risks, even confronting militaries at a time. So anytime there is sit at home, I will cover it and I will gather the report. Then I wasn't popular on social media. I wasn't even using my social media. But there is this radio station I would like us to appreciate. And I will want you both, wherever you are, please listen to this radio station. It is Voice of the People Radio in Lagos. They knew me, they knew I walk around. So each time I travel, there's this lady, Chika Adiwo. She's a comrade. She will call me and say, Lolo, you traveled. Can you come and tell us what is happening in Igbo land? Then I will come to their radio. They call me, it's free. Then I begin to give the reports, and that was how our people begin to know and understand what was actually happening in the southeast. And that was how I became popular. Anyway, I will travel, I will come back. She will, even when I travel, if anything happened in the east, she will call me, Lolo, please, when you come back, come and talk to us. So that was it. Now, when I started traveling, I now realized that the sit at home, I covered it. It was so peaceful. I went home and I interviewed people. I realized that 70%, let me not give 80 or 90, 70% of the people supported the sit at home and 30% indifferent. The day I saw how serious that could be, that was the day we were attending one traditional marriage and three aged women were at the back seat, I was in front. And I threw this discussion. They were all in support. They said so many things, but they said something that I picked. They said we will support these children since they said they are going to get this thing peacefully. Underline that word. We will support them. And they now started reeling out the marginalization and the things the Igbos are passing through. So, any movement that the mothers will rise and support their children, even though it is dangerous, it is serious. So, with that, I intensified my efforts in trying to cover these sit at homes. Now, at a time, the blackmail by the Nigerian media. What we don't know is that the greatest enemy of Ndigbo is the Nigerian media, and I attack them every time. They will always turn facts. Okay, when something happened in the southeast, they will downplay it. They will even turn it around us. The way you present words is the way the listener will understand and then process it. So they use media to manipulate us. So they now use media, you know, to, I don't know, to hypen the sit at home as if the southeast is finished and all that. So I try my best to, I made a lot of publications in the press, and I warned our leaders in using force or anywhere, to do this. Monday is just one day. Let us allow it to stay. After all, we stayed for when that time we had this sickness flying around. We lockdown during lockdown. We stayed for 2 years and we tolerated it. Well, of course, the voice of a few cannot override the voice of many. So after a while, I think the rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I tell people, Nigerian government did not just travel to Kenya to bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu back, just for bringing him back or for trying him. No. What we don't know is that there is an Islamic and there is a jihad agenda. There is an Islamization agenda in Nigeria. And of course, what we don't know also is that Yoruba is considered an Islamic nation. It is silent. So Hausa and Yoruba is considered an Islamic nation. That is why you see the North don't attack the West. 70% of Yorubas are Muslim. and 30% are Christian. But you know, Yoruba, religion, they don't value religion, they value their tribe more than religion. So their tribe kind of, the value they have for their tribe kind of suppressed the religion effect. You know, in the south, is religion is what controls us. Religion suppressed our tribe and our tradition. Religion suppressed it. So religion had a larger voice than our tribe and our tradition. But in the West, their tribe and tradition had a larger voice despite the Muslim and Christian practices there. So, but naturally, the West, if you divide Nigeria, the West can pass as an Islamic nation. So that is why when Tinubu and Buhari were coming together to form APC, that agenda, Islamization agenda, was one of their agenda. And where are they going to do this? From Middle Belt down to Southeast. Then I think the challenge they have is, how do we move into Southeast? These people are very strong. We have to do it codedly, because if they discover what we are about to do and they unite and they come together, that could be a problem. So they now derived a way to move in and do it codedly and put it on us. They want to create a kind of internal problem that even the outside world, while looking at it, will not really understand what is going on, what was going on, or what is going on. So that was what brought about them going for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and bringing him. And they know the space Mazen Nnamdi Kanu occupied in the heart of every Igbo man, that he can be a very good trap for them. If they bring him in, of course they will react. So whatever reaction they bring, we are going to attach whatever plan we have to it. So they brought him back. Of course, true to their plan, we reacted. But the leadership of IPOB, that was when I started looking at who is this leadership of IPOB. The way they manage their affairs is top notch. I respect, if it is Chike Dozem that was the leader after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, I think I respect him and the position they took. Then we are thinking that the youth will come out on the street and start protesting, because their target were the youth. Before I go further, the Nigerian state and Britain had made so many research about us that we don't know. They know how many of us are remaining. They know how many houses we have. They know how many houses that are under lock and key. You know, there was a time I said men should start marrying and keeping in the home. So many homes are lost. They knew 70% of us are not in the East. And they knew there's every tendency that out of this 70%, 60% might not be coming back. We've lost a lot. I asked people question. If you that want travel to Lagos, give birth to your children, they grow, you did not come back. You were in Lagos, you grow old, and they bring you back to Berry. What make you think that those children will come back? So they knew all this arithmetic. So they know it's a matter of time. But because there are some that are still giving birth at home, and then after Mazin Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB rose, there was this eye opener that made us to start looking eastwards, start investing, start getting ready to come back, which they did not like. That prompted them to put more push so that even the ones at home can be pushed out. So that was why they had that plan and brought Mazin Nnamdi Kanu back. And true to their word, we reacted, but not the way they wanted. That sit at home order was a game changer. Nobody saw it coming. It has never happened anywhere in the world before. And I was very, very happy when they made that sit at home order. But then, like they planned, once they arrest Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, they will now grow parallel groups and attach it to him. Now they knew once they arrest Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, of course, somebody in prison, you can easily manipulate or influence that person's decision and the rest of it. People around him, you have so many people to work with. I think that was what happened, and that was what gave birth to Simon Ekpa. that now gave birth to what they wanted. Now, when Simon Ekpa came, the sit-at-home order of IPOB, had we maintained it, had Mazi Nnamdi Kanu maintained a very close relationship with IPOB, have they closed every rank, no penetration, no infiltration, these things wouldn't have happened. But the
Now,
creation
Lolo,
of parallel
yes. Okay, so Lolo, I
now,
think I think you've turned the interview into a straight broadcast. I was supposed to be, asking questions while you respond, but I allowed you to flow so that you'll be able to have a full expression of yourself, and you have done that exclusively.
thank you.
And I'm happy that you were able to, in just 30 minutes, you've been able to summarize. In fact, you've almost answered all the questions. But I'm going to throw in questions, by the way.
Okay,
You started by the Igbo Women's Assembly,
okay,
and how you came into the leadership position.
okay,
Uh, what, to what extent do you, and to what extent do you have influence on the grassroots? I mean, in our local villages, among market women and all that. To what extent have the Igbo Women Assembly been able to sensitize our women and also make them see the need to become part of this organization?
oh, thank you very much, Pat. This is a very, very important question and something I think we should also work on. Trying to sensitize the women. Politics has destroyed a lot of things. Um, Once you call women, because what we're trying to do is to go back to the basics, um, promote our culture, the the real nature of the Igbo women. Igbo women are very responsible, very hardworking, highly resourceful, homemakers, community builders. We've lost all that. We've lost all that. Westernization, education, we've lost all that. And again, politics has destroyed us. It has destroyed everything we built on. In fact, it might interest you to know that every grassroots in Igbo land is now an harness of politics. If you call women and you are trying to talk to them, yes, they believe in what you are saying. It is good. But once you are not giving them money, they are waiting for you to grow it, for it to start bringing money. Like now, we have our cooperative. We did agro export summit in Enugu, I think in 2024, and we're trying to expose the women to exportation, food processing, and the rest of it. Now, after doing that, we went ahead to register our cooperative so that we can start training them. After training them, probably we look for ways to raise money through government incentives to give them. But the challenge we are having now is, let's say you come to Enugu State now and you do one outreach, one event. You can have a lot, like 500 women coming in, and then by the time you start what you do, like we say, we don't give money, we don't do politics. Like now, this electioneering time, if you approach us, you're a politician, we don't entertain you. We don't take money from politicians, especially during elections. We don't. So because you don't entertain these things, nobody will give you rice, nobody will give you money. What we do, we contribute money among ourselves. So they don't want to contribute money. Whatever you want to do, they don't want to contribute money. In fact, the last United Nations Mother Tongue Day we had in Anambra State. Of course, the whole women come all from the whole five southeast state and Lagos. We had to lodge them in a hotel. I had to practically beg for money, raise money from outside here and there, to be able to do that. We do our the money we contribute in our organization, we do it free with donations. If you have 5,000, if you have 10, and some of them will not bring. Now, trying to mobilize, yeah, we are now growing because we maintained our level, we maintained our standard, we must do things right. So our growth is kind of slow, but it's now growing. People are beginning to see what we do, and people are beginning to join in. Now, Iwa having a lot of effect on the grassroots. People know about Iwa. We are very popular, but women joining or people joining is not on the high. That's number one. Number two, politicians are not our friends. Okay? Because most of our publications, we attack them. For instance, now we're going to make a publication on Soludo on Udogachi. You can see our publication against the federal government during the military climb down on IPOB. We even came out on television to condemn them. We put our feet down. So the government, most of the Southeast governors don't like it. So they see Iwa as anti-government. They don't want anybody to checkmate them. They don't want anybody to talk about them. So that kind of hinder, and they have a grip on the grassroots. Okay, they have a grip on the town unions, which should be for the people. But even the town unions have become grassroots for the town unions have become grassroots for politicians. All the women group, even in churches, in CWOs, they have also become a grassroots for politicians. So most of them, if you are trying to bring them on our side, they are trying to. There is this kind of pushback because if they identify with us, the government of the day might not truly support them. The government in the south is they don't fight us, but they are wary of us and our activities, and because we refuse to align with them fully, so that grassroots influence we've not really had. But in recent time, the acceptance of Iwa is on the rise and is beginning to grow across Southeast. But we are not there yet, because what we do, we will mention it. We don't admit you if you don't agree to our rules and regulation, our agenda, what we stand for. So you will see them come in and leave, and some of them will come in and stay. So that is the situation with Ewa right now, because of what we believe in, and we are trying to do our convention um this year. So that is the situation of Ewa right now. Because of the grip, we are trying to see how we can make the women understand that you can't be playing. This is not the right way to do politics. Okay, the only time you can get them delivered if we have a good government that will allow people, the freedom to choose and to do things. Maybe it will get better. But I can assure you, Iwa have a lot of influence in Saudi, especially me as a person. I have a lot of influence. The leaders respect me as the Igbo Women Assembly and what I stand for. But going the grassroots, we are still getting there. We are not there yet. Still creating awareness.
Very much, Lolo. I understand the challenges you're facing, considering the fact that the kind of politics that is being played have given. I don't know if I'm coming out. I see that my screen is blank. I don't know what the issues are. Just
I'm seeing you. I can see you. I can see you.
okay, because I can see that my screen is blank.
I'm not speaking. Yes, yeah. But I'm hearing you.
Okay,
I'm done with the question he asked me. Maybe if you can put another question across, I will continue. But I'm hearing you. I can, yes. I'm here, but you can put the next question while I continue with the next question. You can work on. Okay, thank you very much. Um, we've been able to create a lot of awareness in Igbo land concerning Igbo unity, empowering women and making them financial independence and making them proud. And then we've been able to create a school, a registered school. We call it Igbo Women Assembly Training Center. And we have some schools. It has not been easy. We have about 5 or 6 schools in Lagos. We are trying to bring up we are trying to bring up Enugu. We've had teachers in Enugu, in Abia, and in Imo. And then recently, after we did our Mother Tongue Day in Anambra, I think we organized some people. And funny enough, we work with professionals. The person in charge of our school is Professor Ebelu Kafo. She lectures in Unilag, and the person vicing him, the person vicing her is Professor Nkechi Anike. She's also a scholar in Igbo language. Dr. Blair is also a scholar in Igbo language, and we have Dr. Ngozi Onog from Unizik. We have all these professors littered here, and they're trying to put up that school. Then what do we want to do with that school? We want to create an Igbo school of our own, a school that will raise our children. We are trying to borrow from the Alamachi School of the North. You know what we don't know is wherever an Hausa man is born, if you bring an Hausa man that was born in Kano and the one that was born in Lagos, they're the same. That culture is there. It is through that school they inculcate that culture in them. But our challenges, our children that were born in Lagos, they behave like the Yorubas. The ones born in the North, they behave like the North because there is nothing that is bringing them together. Like we say our vision is to make sure we plant a school every 5 minutes walk. You will get a school. And we also say any Igbo child, irrespective of where he or she is born, must have access to know how to speak, to write Igbo language. Above all, must be raised in Igbo culture so that when he grows, whether he lives his life in America, he will also transfer that to his children. So that is one of our major achievements. And then we are trying to develop the curriculum right now. In fact, we just raised a committee for that curriculum. And again, in Iwa, we have various departments that will cover every area of our lives. We have the legal department, we have the education department, we have the media department, we have the health department, we have the finance department, we have the business development department. So why did we create this department? We want to bring all our professionals together to see how we can develop Igbo land. In fact, if things go well, we are planning on building a research center because we believe that the enormous wealth on our own land, we've not touched them. We need to start researching. We go to China to bring goods and all that. Whatever they produce is what they got from their land. In fact, in my estate in Enugu, there is oro mud there that you can use to, mold plates. We import them from China. We have our leaves, the drugs we import from China. They get it from their leaves in their bush. Then we have so many things that we can start researching on. And that was even why we want to, our business development department is the one organizing the women for exportation, for food processing. The north, after when you produce yam, some of them will spoil. So if we can go into food processing and then we export, in those days, it is the women that runs the economy of Southeast. They are the business, they are the traders. And I'll prove it to you. Our mothers in those days, what crop do men plant? Only yam. The mothers plant maize, they plant melon, they plant cocoyam, they plant, then during harvest, I've not seen any man harvesting pear, harvesting palm fruits, harvesting. The mothers will harvest, go to the market, sell, and bring food. Sometimes when they say the man is the breadwinner, I say it's not true. At least in my culture, it's not true. The man provides and the woman is the breadwinner. The man provides the land for the wife help her to cultivate it. The woman plants everything. Before the man will harvest his yam, the woman have harvested her ugu, have harvested her corn, have harvested other things, and then she will take it to the market and sell and bring food. For the man that provided, he will have the lion's share. That is the setting of Igbo people. Now, what changes that when westernization took over, and then we start going to school and we start getting white collar jobs, that narrative, we lost that narrative because the church also came to tell us that any man that cannot provide for his family is an infidel. Then they forgot to tell us what the woman does. So a woman will be working, receiving salary, and will now use her salary to buy 500,000 naira bone streets and heap all the expenses on the men, which is not right. And it's part of what we are trying to correct. We want to build back our culture, which I think is the best in the whole world. Okay, so this is part of what we are doing, trying to bring us back, creating all these departments. Today, we die anyhow. We even have the population department. A 40-year-old man will die, we go and bury. We don't no longer ask questions. Why are we dying young? Why are we contracting all these sicknesses? These sicknesses were not with us before. Nobody asked questions. We are going to use all this department to ask questions, to help. The health department will go for medical outreach. In fact, I met the woman I want to handle that department. I just had a very long conversation. I said, do you know that we can reach out to our brothers that are in medical line abroad to go on outreach? I tested positive for the cervical cancer in 2008. It was in my church, just with 1,000 naira. I was able to diagnose, and I went for the pap smear, and today I'm good. We can do that in the villages. Take this thing to the villages, get those women tested for breast and cervical cancer, outreach, and all that. We can help ourselves. We can also come together to build hospitals. We have money, but nobody to coordinate us. So these are the things Ewa is doing. Although these things are the embryo stage, number one. Number two, we don't have funding, but we are pushing. We are getting better by the day. So these are parts of what Ewa is doing, and again, creating awareness of our language going into extinction. We celebrate United Nations Mother Tongue Day every year. And this year's one was so beautiful because we had a communique after at the end of the event, and that communique is that we must reach out to our governors to enact some laws, okay, some laws that will strengthen our language, like telling schools. Of course, all of us went to school. When a teacher would tell you if you speak Igbo, that is actually crazy, and you pay money. That was how part of how we lost our language. What if we revise that law and say after school time, let the children speak Igbo, okay? And then okay. Bọs na-aka agba mbọ ịsụ asụsụ, ndị nọ n'ụlọ na-eme agba mbọ ịhụ na ha nwa na-asụkwa bekee, anyị nọ mba ofesi na-agba mbọ ịhụ na anyị nwa na-asụ Igbo, nke bụ na anyị nwa bi mba ofesi na-enwe nkasi obi na wee ndị nọ n'ụlọ na-asụ, anyị amaghị na ndị nọ n'ụlọ anaghị asụ. So etu a ka Igbo ji wee chọọ ikpochapụ. Enwere research anyị mere wee chọpụta na Owerri nke a mere anyị ji wee pụtata ihe ebe a. Nwatakịrị nọ from 1 year to 10 years, ụmụaka nọ from 1 year to 10 years, ada anụ Igbo nyafọzi ịsụ ya asụ. Quote me, onye ga-challenge m gị aka ime challenge. Maka oge m bịa n'Owerri a gaa na nke nwanne m rahụ wee fụ na ụmụ ya ada anụ Igbo, m wee gbaa n'aka. Abịa m n'Owerri a na-eme duru ụlọ ole m ga mkpa aka n'ụlọ mmadụ kọwa onwe m buru oche nsị gị na ụmụ gị ọ na-asụ Igbo. Ịjụ ajụjụ ọ dịka ị na-ekwu arụ, ọ dịka isi n'ụwa ọzọ bịa. Aka na-akọ akụkọ Igbo, the expression m na-afụ n'ihu ndị mmadụ ka ekwe nke nwe ụmụ gị ọ na-asụ Igbo. Ọ mgbe m bịa kọwa onye ahụ ewe erote n'ọrịghị ụzọ ka ọ na-agaghị ba ya ada na-asụla akụziri ụmụ ha Igbo. Enwere ofe ajụjụ m na-ajụ nke enwebeghị onye sara m ya. Ajụjụ m na-ajụ bụ, ị nwere ike ịgwa m ihe kpatara na ede asụrụ nwa gị Igbo? Ajụjụ ahụ na-akụtụ nwaanyị ọbụla n'obi.
maka na ọ na-edo ha anya na enwero any single reason kpatara ha ji ha da asụrụ ụmụ ha Igbo. Njọ ị na-asụ bekee ọfụma asị m ị na-asụ Igbo ọfụma asị m nsị kedụkwa n'ihe o jiri dị gị ka nwa gị sụwa Igbo ọ ga-asụ bekee. Mana ka m jụọ ahụ enwere ihe uru dị iche bekee ma na-aba ewezụga iji ya mee kpaa nkata ma onye ada asụ Igbo gị na-ewere ya kpaa nkata ma ọ bụ ị na-arụ ọrụ oyibo i were ya na-eme atend maka Lagos aha ibe ị gaa n'ọfịs ndị Yoruba nọ ịma abịa na ịgụ akwụkwọ ha ka anyị agụ ọfịs ha nọ ịma nnu ya bekee mana ịbịakwasị ha sọrọ gị isi danụ tupu ha na-asụrụ gị bekee. To them bekee wụ a second language. Asụsụ ha ka ha mkpa nyanwa ka iji wee sị mba ọ dị mma ka anyị bịazie n'ụlọ kwee kwa ka ọ ga-adasi ụdị ike ka onye ọbụla nọ. Ndị ihe ọzọ mere egwu ji wee baa anyị ahụ shie nne anyị ji wee gbara ọsọ lọtawa n'ụlọ abụọ na nyocha nke ndị United Nations nyochara n'ikpeazụ a na mbụ ha ọ fọrọ ogo 25 ka Igbo kpochapụ. Mana nke a bụzi na Igbo language because dịka cancer nwere stage 1 to 4 Igbo language nwere stage 1 to 11 na o ji ekpochapụ. Na nyocha nke kịta gosiri na asụsụ Igbo nọzi na stage 8 out of the stage 11 of language extinction. Mwa na onwe m na-ekwu na orugo stage 9 maka ka o si aga na Owerri anyị nọ ihe ejizi azụ ahịa wuo oyibo, ihe a na-asụ on the street wuo oyibo. Enwere ọtụtụ ndị na-arụ Aba ịgwa ha kwụrụ ọtọ si na ọ bụ asị na ọma mfu wee jụọ ha ị nọ na be gị mara na ọma mfu enwego ka isi wee gbagharịa mee nyocha ma na ọma mfu maka na mụnwa na onwe m emego nyocha ezigbo egwu na-atụ m egwu ewee baa m arụ igwu na eziokwu ego niile m na-akpata n'ụwa ma bụ n'ihe a ka ọ na-aga. Oge ụfọdụ ana m ebewa akwa bikos amaghị m ma ego m ọ ga-eduruzikwe m ebe ọ ga-eru. Ọ dị ikechi ịgwụ m enwere ofe ajụjụ mmụọ m na-ajụ m na-eme ọjọọ m ya bụ ajụjụ ma okpofu ma ihe niile na-eme m nkulie ọ na-akpọ m afa mbụ mmụọ m sị m Nneka ị ma na ọ bụrụ na asụsụ gị foo enweghị ebe a ga-enwe in history that onye dịka gị gafere na the surface of this earth. Ọ sị m na asụsụ m foo it will never be in history that you ever existed as a human being. You ever walk the surface of this earth as a human being. Ọjọọ ma ajụjụ ahụ ọ sị m kawa ahụ mebe onye ị ga-eme mgbe ị na-ekwukọtala ihe a ndị ọzọ ga-anụ wee tinye aka ịfụ na asụsụ n'ala. Unu lee anya unu ga-ahụ na ndị anyị kpọpụtara wo ndị ụmụ nwaanyị ọwụhụ big men ọwụhụ politicians ka anyị kpọpụtara ebe a. Gịnị ka anyị ji wee tinye uchu anyị? Every community nọ n'Imo State dị represented here. Ụmụ nwaanyị ha n'ebe a maka na anyị na-ekwu sị anyị mesịa mmemme nke a wụ ihe ndị bekee na-akpọ scratching the surface. Ọrụ ka jos anyị just ibido dị ọrụ ebido maka anyị ga-eburu ozu ọma bupụ ya n'ime obodo. Anyị chọrọ reach the grassroots maka na achọpụtara m na kemgbe anyị nọ na Lagos na-eti mkpu ihe a for 5 years ọ mụtabeghị ọtụtụ mkpụrụ. Ịma ihe o ji ga-amụta bụ ọtụtụ mkpụrụ na-ebubeghị ozi ọma buruo ya na ndị kwesịkwara iburukwe ya na-aga. Ndị ọcha butere anyị ozi ọma na-esi ebe ha nọ zọpụ njem kpagharịa gwa ya ndị kwesịrị ịnụ ya. Ya ka ụmụ nwaanyị niile na-ebe a si n'obodo dị iche iche ndị Aba ana m ekene ụnụ ka unu si wee rụọ ahụ ụnụ ụka bịawa njem a. Ndị Ụmụahịa nọ hịa ndị biko kọọranụ ndị Aba ndị Ụmụahịa na ndị si ebe dị iche iche kwuo maka ihi na asụsụ ha dị ha mkpa wee bịa ebe a.
Wow. I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you.
Yes, I said sorry I was muted. That was an interesting conversation there. I can
Yes.
Igbo in this program, but we have a
I
vast
know. I
audience
know. I
globally,
understand. I
non-Igbo
understand.
speaking audience
Audience.
all over the world. So it's important that we use general
English.
English language to be able to. Ordinarily, I would have far because the way you spoke Igbo and the way you try to convince Igbos to focus on their language is something that what is worthy of emulation, considering the fact that the Igbo language actually is going on extinction. You talked about the amount of resources, personal funding you have made in this project. How is that affecting your finances, Lolo?
Well, it's a promise I made to God. Well, I don't know if I should say this here, but I think I should leave it. It's a promise I made to God. Because this particular Owerri event, that was when I was building my real estate in Enugu State, and I was supposed to start work, and I have just small money to start that work. And the funny part of it is, if you are doing these things and you try to raise money, I'm not very good at begging. Probably I don't know how to beg or how to ask people for money. And then if you're not a politician, you don't support them, real support them, nobody talks to you. So we couldn't raise money we needed. You can see the crowd in that place and the rest of it. So it really touched me, and I had about 5 million in my account, and I want to start that my work. So money was not forthcoming, and we have 2 weeks to go. And it really, really affected me to the point that I actually had a high BP. And because I don't have it, and my doctor cautioned me, I went into my room on that day and I said, well, all these disturbances, Shebi, if this my money finish now, I will rest. If I don't get money, Shebi, I will rest. So the next day I went and transferred 3.5 million out of the 5 million I wanted to use to start my work, so that we could. That was what I said. If I want to get tired, Mom Gasim Nneka Jisike, you are doing it for yourself. You can see that phrase. That was actually a conversation I had in my room, and I transferred that 3.5 million and for us to have that event. That very night, somebody I was chasing for a very long time to buy land for me transferred 5 million naira to my account that very night. And the next day he transferred another 5, and I had 10 million. So that was when I knew miracle works, and I promised God, so long as I have money, I will use it. And that is my trend. But to drain my pocket, if you see me, I don't wear expensive clothes. I don't wear expensive jewelry. I try as much as possible to curtail the way I live my life so I can save money. I have spent I've spent all my money is for this project. When I was traveling southeast, I fly. When I was going to Abuja, I fly. It's my money. In fact, people called me to support me in that particular one, and I rejected money. And I was glad I did that. So that people will not say I collected money. And I was very glad I did that. Okay, so in terms of being falling heavy on my pocket, it has. But I can assure you, God has been faithful. There is no event we want to do that we've not done. But the good news is that the awareness we are creating is paying off. The last Mother Tongue Day we held in Anambra was purely money we raised from people, and I was very glad. A lot of people contributed. I think we raised about 5 point something million, and I mean it took care of everything. And just small money is what I added. So in terms of feeling heavy, but I can't be more glad to do it, because I felt that whatever I do for myself, my children, and my future generation. I put myself first, that what I'm doing for myself. Because if we lose our language, I'm lost. If we lose our tribe, I'm lost. It doesn't matter. Somebody will start something, others will join, and I think others are really, really joining, and we're
Thank
making
you
a lot
very
of.
much. So, Lolo, how can you are there medium you can get support from Ndi Igbo who might want to support your IWA project in terms of financial, moral, and whatever? Are there channels made available to receive financial support, donations? This is
Yeah,
a,
we have
this, this is a platform where you can make that known to our people who have passion for what you are doing and want to support you.
And of course, if you want to support us, the project we have now is our school. Most of the teachers are doing it free of charge, and sometimes if I have small money I will give them. They are complaining. We will need a lot of support for that school. We will need a lot of support to invest in that school so that that school will grow. In fact, part of the communique we had is also for the governors to adopt Iwa school, because we are doing it part time. We are doing it like catechism, something the children will attend in the evening every day. Now we run it every Saturday, but we are looking at how we can be able to run it every evening. Okay, because we really need to do a lot of work. So that school is what we really need funding. And then again, for our women, we did our agro export
Before,
summit. We
before,
really want to.
before, before you proceed, the school you are talking about, what is the purpose of this school? Is it exclusively for Igbo language, or do you have other areas of study you want to embark on?
Yes, it is starting. We want to use it to establish a kind of Igbo school where you can teach maths in Igbo, where you can teach agriculture, other languages in Igbo. I mean, China, they study in their language. Germany, they study in their language. In fact, Hausas have started teaching their people in their language. I can assure you of that. So it's a start. We want to start first with our language. Then, because the children where you even want to teach other things don't even speak the language, they don't hear. So we want to first of all start by teaching them the language, how to read, how to write. And as we proceed, of course, other things will follow. But what we have in mind is to kind of develop an Igbo school. I will tell you an interesting story. When I was growing up and we were doing agriculture, I'm really, really a very inquisitive somebody, even when I was a child. You don't just tell me something, I must try to look at it, balance it. When we are doing agriculture and we are doing botanical names for leaves, I started protesting. We will go and cut leaf in our bush and bring it to school. They will tell us to do a kind of album. In that album, you will write the botanical name of that leaf and then write the English name. Me, I was asking, how can I be writing a botanical name of a leaf that has something it does in my language in my language? Then I will write it in English and botanical. Why don't they at least put Igbo language? What is the essence of this? Then I said they are manipulating us. They want us to forget about ourselves. When we are growing up, there are leaves you can use to do certain things. Even me at my age, I've forgotten it. It's obvious the children growing now that are not hearing Igbo language is also that even prompted me to make sure we establish this school so that we can drag our children back and teach them these things in our language and develop them in our language.
Quite interesting, Lord. That is a very, very big vision, and I believe that definitely support is going to come, because I know that Igbos are passionate people, and when they see good thing, they like to embrace it. And what you are doing is quite commendable. Now, you talked about Igbo unity. In your earlier, assertions, do you think that Igbos are divided, or we just needed to do more to unify ourselves? In your own opinion.
Yes, Igbos are divided. We are scattered. We are divided by the church. We are divided by even school. We are divided by interests, business interests. You can't just call us together and bring one agenda. And can't you see, over time, Igbos is a tribe that had the biggest groups. If you want to start calling different groups in Igbo land, I think you can have up to 150. What I say is Igbo bụ ewu adị mmadụ 100 akwanye nne mana agụụ na-agụ ya. We have all these groups claiming to be for Igbo interest, and yet we are where we are today. There is need for us to unite at least under one umbrella and have agendas. I'll tell you about the Fulanis. Why they conquer. You see in Lagos, if we are united, we can produce deputy governor. If we are united, we can we can win elections in like 10 local governments if we are united. You know, when they say Lagos is Yorubaland, that's bullshit. Lagos is Nigeria. How did the Fulanis conquer the North? And they are the minority. It's simply unity. The agenda, everybody key into that agenda. But for Igbo, bring out one agenda. Look at IPOB, for instance. What are we doing with it? This is a group we can fix what's a whole lot from and help them to grow. What are we doing to it? So we are not united at all, and that unity is something anybody that says I'm Igbo and I have Igbo interest should start thinking towards that direction. If there is anything you are doing that is undermining the unity, you better drop it and start talking about the unity. Why these people are in our land rounding us off is because we are not united, and they will not allow us to be united. But I used to say something. Mmadụ ọ na-adị ka ihe eji kọ ya ọnụ. Onye a na-achọ ọchị, ọ na-achọ onwe ya. I think it is high time we all wake up and rise and drop. There was something I was telling people online. I said, even if you hate me and you hate the things I say, but there is what is called common interest. Even when you are talking about somebody's common interest, because he perceives that you are not on his or her team, he will attack you. So we've been so much brainwashed by the church, divided by the church. We've made the enemy of each other by the church that should unite us. Education, unko. A professor will call his brother an illiterate, even when you have a school certificate. Even when you are, because you did not go to the university, somebody that one is also something dividing us. They will call you illiterate. You know, a lot of division here and there. We need to come together as a tribe first, as Ndi will first, before any other thing. Until that is done, I think we're in problem, to be honest.
Okay, Lolo, quite understandable. I, to some extent, agree with you that Igbos, yes, to some extent, we love ourselves, but I think we,
Exactly.
yeah, but I think we need to do more in the areas of aligning our interests. Because when we talk about love, love is are two different things. You know, when you talk about love and interest, so I believe that we need to look more on, you know, on the general interest of Igbos, you know, because that we do not push that we are divided along interest does not mean we hate each other or we don't love ourselves, because when you also look at what politics have done in Igbo land, you see how political parties have also played role because of
In the
interest
division.
in the division, you know. So I think we need to do more of a orientation program to make our people understand that our focus should be more on the interest of the Igbos, and less on personal interest. But you know, you cannot, as a result of people pursuing their personal interest, say that there is no love. I believe that we love each other. It's just that we need to do more in aligning with the Igbo interest rather than personal interest. Now, because we should be
Now,
rounding
let
up.
me help,
Okay, yes, go ahead, Lord.
let me let me help you. Let me help you, there, Mr. Patrick. Now, I'm not saying, in fact, in the whole Nigeria, Igbos love themselves best. I tell people, no tribe would have gone through the war, the civil war. After the civil war, the marginalization, the treatment we have, that will even still stay together. Now, the division division, why we are not united, discovered that the only thing that could make this tribe stand the Nigerian state for 3 years and nearly won the war is unity of purpose. So you can, if you watch, immediately after the war, they begin to division. They begin the division conquest. They started dividing us by states. After dividing us by states, they start dividing us by appointments. Before you are given appointment, you will be given
Lolo, before we
conditions.
even go into a state division, we already had a regional division. Where you now have the sum of some Igbos put in southeast, some put in the
That's
middle
that,
belt,
and in
and
fact,
some yeah,
I'm
yes, and others
I'm
put in
putting
the
south.
south, in the
I'm putting
so-called
yes.
south south.
I'm putting old southeastern state. I'm not dividing it now. I'm joining them together. That is where the division started. Now I say that the division of states is only done for the Igbos. The Yoruba doesn't even understand states. You will never see a Yoruba man come out and say, I'm from Ogun State. Once you are Omoba, grandson of the soil, once they come to any place, Omo Yoruba Lemini, that is it. And nobody will ask you which state are you from. In church, they don't know the state. So it is they divide, the state creation was meant to divide us. And we understood it that, oh, they have divided the state. I am here. I am here. Even the north. If you come out, if you're an Hausa man, come to where Hausa people, nobody will ask you, where did you come from? Once you are Hausa, you are Hausa. So this division, it was a gradual process, putting pressure on us. Even in doing business, they had to put pressure to make sure they instigate another Igbo man against another Igbo man. So the majority of this division over the years or over time was the pressure the Nigerian government was putting on us without we knowing and understanding it, or we knowing and understanding it but can do little, to stop it. Yes, we bought into it, we had to survive. We survived. Now that we have survived, I think it is time we come back. For instance, we blame our politicians. If you are working in the bank and two Igbo people, if you speak your language, you can be transferred or sacked. But a Yoruba man and a Yoruba man can be speaking their language in the same bank and nothing will happen. If you're a bank manager and you try to give a contract to an Igbo man, you can be sacked. Or an Igbo man, we complain. If you meet an Igbo man in an office and speak Igbo, you will not respond. He has to save his job. Okay? So these things started. Then you that went to meet your brother in the office and he did not speak, you speak Igbo, he did not, you'll be angry. And there's a division, there's a gap there. So the same way, if you are doing business, you go to the ports, they are marginalizing you there. The same way they are treating our politicians too. If you go to the National Assembly and you want to push Igbo interest, they will not put you in a committee where you will make money. So it's all round. Now that we've discovered this is something we will come together to fight. If you tell me not to speak my language to my brother, I will resign. Because either you resign or not, when you are working like a slave, you accept it. They will still sack you one day. So it's something we must come together as a people to monitor. If they sack anybody, how do we help this person that is sacked? How do we, as a group, work together? If your brother is applying for something and somebody is saying, oh yeah, come, I will give you to divide, you say no. Push your brother to have it. So the division is majorly a weapon they are using against us. Now that they are using this weapon against us, we've gone thus far. We accepted those weapons to survive after the war. Now that we have survived, I think it is high time we rise and confront this monster that they've used to, fight us over the years. So it's not solely our fault, but it's like we are conquered nation. Okay, we are conquered nation and we've tarried. We've survived it. We've made it. It is time we now come together and start talking of how to get out of it, how to fight it collectively. Because when they now see that if you tell me not to speak my language, I will challenge you, I'll write against you, I'll fight you. And my brother too will not take job, he will fight you.
They will not say, oh, if you try to intimidate her, he will not agree. So I think it is time we start rising up now that we've come this far.
Thank you very much, Lolo. I want to ask you a question. We've seen how you've confronted security forces in Anibo, and how you you stood to battle and defend the rights of our people, bringing some of the revelations that many people are now running around with today. How has this affected you mentally and also your family? How has that affected you, considering the amount of threat you receive on a daily basis in this regard?
Um, well, when you are running for your life, you don't even see threats. You don't see challenges. Assuming you went into the bush and you are confronted by a lion, while you are running, you can even match a snake without knowing that you've matched a snake. You keep running. So then, moving around south is seeing what the militaries are doing, and of course, I knew that no option is left. I can assure you, most of the militaries in the southeast were the rehabilitated Boko Haram, without missing word, because they did nothing against the insecurity. Rather, they heightened it. One, they were the ones burning the villages for no reason. Echo to two. People came to the market. I interviewed people that were in that market the day it happened. I also helped in relocating some. They said they came to the market and they didn't see that two head though. They heard that there were two head on the table, fresh head. And they alleged that it was ESN that caught the head. The militaries moved their armor tanks, opened the fire in the market. I heard that there 70 people were shot. And then they didn't just stop in the market. As they are shooting, they are burning the market. In fact, one woman said it was that day she knew that rice can burn like fuel. There was one warehouse that was filled with rice. It was burnt down. And the media did not cover it. They didn't just stop there, they moved to the village. That was how Osihitokwa and the Kototo. That was how Osihitokwa own happened. Then in Mbanotu, in fact, in any village, they would just say they were attacked. Now, they were brought to guide these villages, remember? Then, when you are now attacked, you now turn your gun on the villages you were brought to, you know. Now, I feel that I can die one day. I have relatives in the southeast. If I can report this, either I die or not. If I die, I'll be part of those that died. They're also human beings. But I can report on their life and make other people alive. And I was so glad I did that. Recently, they've tried to move to Enugu. After that report and after that exposition, they withdrew. But they've not, the agenda is still there. In fact, they've overrun us. They are all over Southeast right now. The outsiders are inside everywhere. But I think the ESN, I've not met ESN anywhere, but recently in Imezi in Enugu State, Ezago, we just heard that military had confrontation with ESN in that place. And after that, I went there to cover it. Are you talking to me, Mr. Pat? Because I'm not hearing you. Are you talking to me?
Lolo, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Lolo, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Go
Now,
ahead. Continue.
I went to cover. That was the first place I would say first-hand information about ESN. When I went there, I didn't tell anybody I was coming. I took direction. I went there and I approached people and people started coming out. Now, they burnt about 6 houses, the military, and told the people to leave. They are coming back there. And I asked people what was the issue. They now said from 2010 till last year November, they've been having Fulani herdsmen attack. In fact, the first boy I interviewed said his elder brother was killed by Fulani herdsmen and that they raped their women. They even kidnapped in some point. But last year November,
some guys came into the village and introduced themselves as ESN, that they should not be afraid, that they are brothers, that they came to, that they've chased the Fulani herdsmen anyway, that they should come back to farm. And they said they were happy. All of us, so I think about last month or 2 months ago, the
Lolo, let
military
us
came.
just a moment.
Maybe with the tip of
Let us take this clip. Let us take this clip, please.
dịka anyị na-apụ, unu ga-ahụ ihe ewe obodo niile, unu ọhụ ihe niile ebe ndị mmadụ bi, ọsọ gbara ya complete. Ọ ka m na-ala ụgbọala anyị na-agbafe ka unu na-ahụ obodo niile ihe awụcha ụlọ, ndị niile na-ebe agbara ọsọ. Eletina m ụdị nchekwawa ndị amị bịa, obodo a nọkwara onwe ha peaceful. Otu aka ejikwa nwere onwe anyị peace n'ala Igbo, nwere onwe anyị peace n'ala Igbo. Akpọrọ ndị amị kpọta asa anyị ka relax ara anyị sit at home. Lekwezie na relax sit at home dị na atụtụ obodo na ihe niile awụ ebe ndị mmadụ bi, ihe niile awụ ụlọ ndị mmadụ. Enweghị na ihe moto mmadụ ji arụ. Lee ya, lee ya, lee na ya. Ihe niile onye ọbụla unu ga-ahụ na ndị mmadụ na-eji ụjọ na-abata otu onye bịa were ihe, onye bịa wechara ihe. Ihe awụ ọnọdụ edewere ndị be anyị. Lee ya, ihe ụlọ ndị mmadụ. Ile anyị hụ na lee ite esi were n'ọkụ. Ihe awụcha ndị na-arụcha ọrụ, ndị na-egbu ugbo, onye ọbụla anaghị alụ ụda egbe. Ọ dị ka na-alụ agha gbafusie n'obodo. Ngwanụ ka m jụọ ọnụ ka etinye ka ndị amị jizi bịazie ịfight the ESN endize up na-aga endize up ịtụsịsị obodo, nke bụ na ịgwazi obodo na ha kwapụ. Onye bụ ekwe hụ na ọkwa jihad ka a na-emekwa ewo, ọkwa jihad ka federal gọọmenti jikwa ụzọ ahụ na-eme n'ala Igbo. And otu ihe a si eme ụgbọ na ị ga-ahụ ndị midia, no single media house ga-abịa ebe a kọva ihe a, esilie ya. Ọ bịakpọọ ndị obodo kwuo okwu, akọ ya na platform sa anyị kọọ ya. Lechaa na ya, ihe awụcha ebe ndị mmadụ dị, ebe niile a na-alọkịrị ya nọ. Ọsọ ihe kụba na otu ọsọ ọgbara ha gwa ndị akwapụ, ha ga na-abịaji patrol. Ka eche ka ndị obodo ga-esi hụzie ndị amị nkwesịrị na-eche ha eche na-agbazi ọsọ. Ka eche ka ndị amị kwesịrị na-eche obodo eche, ndị obodo agbazi ọsọ. So ka unu ga-ahụ na ọhịa na-adị ọtọ ndị awụ ngwụ. Because oge m na-abịa almost 30 minutes ọsọ ọhịa. Onye settlers na-ebe awụ ọrụ ugbo ka ha na-egbu. And then ihe ndị a na-eme ewu, ha na-eji aghụghọ na-achụtụsị ndị ugbo na-egbu ha egbu. Ndị ESN abatazie kemgbe November according to that. They nwee peace. Ka ha nweziri peace. Ihe ọzọ wụzi ndị amị abatazie bịazie chụwa obodo, ọ bụrụkwa nọ ndị ESN nwanụ gazie n'obodo. Onye ọbụla nọ n'olu m were ire gị dụọ eze gị ọnụ. Ihe ọzọ m na-achọkwa ịgwa ndị Igbo, lekwekwanụ Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, ọ nọ mana kọndishọn ihe eji wee jide Maazị Nnamdi Kanu owo ka egbuo IPOB na ESN. And ọ dị m ka kọndishọn ahụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu chọrọ ịnọ under pressure were mee accept that condition, ya ka o ji wee gbakwuzie ndị autopilot, ndị Biafran Liberation Army. So ihe ha chọziri ịtọ ọnọdụ dị Biafran Liberation Army ugbu a na ha asụsụ na ESN. Ile anya enwe nke a na-akpọ Njideka, ihe da woman ketere wee taa Njideka na-ekwuzi na original na ọha nwezi original ESN.
Now, Lolo, because we've seen
There's a particular one I would like you to play where the locals actually spoke. If you
okay,
can play that.
I don't think if we have that clip
Okay.
available to do, because we cannot play all the clips that
Yeah.
you've done.
No,
You've done a very good.
I wanted people to see from the horse's mouth,
Yes.
for them to narrate what their experience. And let me shock you, Mr. Patrick. Do you know that it was because of this report federal government sponsored that news about me? You think that news about me? No. I released this thing in the morning because it was so damaging. Do you know why? They have been blackmailing ESN. Now, Fulani herdsmen will attack people, army will not come. This is the first time I am encountering where ESN was working. And the locals confirmed that for 15 years, they've been under attack by Fulani herdsmen. And I asked them, have military come in here to save you? They said no. Now, ESN came in and chased Fulani herdsmen away. Now the military now came to chase Fulani ESN away. Not just that, they begin to burn the villages. It was so damaging. If you watch, there was a reshuffle. That week, there was a reshuffle in the military by the federal government. Now, I released that news in the morning. Under 2 hours, the news about me and the MNK and the rest was all over the place. That news was sent to everybody's platform at once, so people reacted at once. So what I did was, I got the message. I understood what they were trying to do. I retrieved. I gave myself one week. Immediately after that 1 week, I pushed that report back again. And I'm going to pay 50,000 naira to sponsor to advertise that report very, very well so that it will go viral.
Yes, we know that you took a very short break, and how was it for you taking that short break off media?
You see?
We knew that you took a week off media to attend to other outstanding personal issues. So, how was it for you? Did you revitalize yourself mentally? How was it for you? Refreshing?
Yeah, for me, for mentally, I'm a fighter. And especially, when you are speaking the truth, when you are fighting for the truth, all you need to do is to be patient. At a time, the truth, you can't cover it. So for me, I have never shown any sign of fear. In fact, I will stand and keep on saying what I'm saying. But because of family concerns, everybody was concerned about my safety. I think it was more of my safety. And I was particularly very upset because I told people I went on a suicide mission in the southeast for 3 years, facing all manner of danger. I mean, this is social media. If you go to my platform on March, there is a video I made and I said I'm going to be under serious attack because the topic I'm going to be discussing is so sensitive, especially to my people. Okay, so I saw it coming. I know it will come. Mentally, emotionally, I was ready for it. I never knew that people close to me are not on the same. I forgot I have loved ones that loved me that will show concern from all over the place. From where I'm married, I'm very popular and a very good woman. People consider me good and people value me. Wherever I am, people value me. Okay, so there were this concern. And then, of course, my husband, for the first time ever since I was doing this, was very, very concerned. And I had to take that break to assure him, to calm him down, to calm. My children were even the ones that calmed my husband down. They told daddy, oh, now this one, when we were afraid for mommy, don't go. This is just come out from there. Because when I was traveling to the east, my son will always call me, where are you? Do like this. I saw you reporting there. So how are you living there? So it's like my children are even used. So when the social media own came, for them it's even better. It's happening on the social media. But for my husband, so but they calmed him down and family members came around. So I just took that break to assure family and friends that I'll be okay. And I explained to them what actually happened. Okay? Ordinarily, the subject matter that was raising dust ordinarily shouldn't raise dust. But the way and manner, and that is why I said we Igbo should be very, very careful. The Nigerian state manipulate us with media. They will give us what they want us to hear. They will give it in a manner that they know if you give it to them like this, they will react like this. And they got exactly what they want. Why? This woman is very important to the Igbos. They knew they've been targeting me. They knew the news I give. They knew I'm dogged. They knew I'm not afraid. And they knew above all, I am being very, very careful. I don't report what is not real. Even if they should catch me, I can defend myself. So they use that very opportunity to sell it. They paid handsomely. Like now, if I pay 1 million naira to sponsor my news, you know what that would be? They will bring it to your doorstep. Now, ordinarily, that news where that people will shout, people, nna nke a Lolo Nneka na-emekwa n'otu it will go. But everybody saw it at the same time, reacted at the same time, it became news. Okay, that was exactly what happened. So because I understood what they were doing, I said anyway, it's a matter of time.
my people will understand. And they know I will never, I respect Mazin Namdekalo. I'm one of the promoters and defenders, so nobody will take that away from me that I have paid my dues in defending Mazin Namdekalo. Okay? But I
Now,
maintain.
yes, Lolo, I
uh,
would like to, because we remember when journalists went on the ground to carry out investigations on news. But in recent time, journalists no longer step out of the studio. So are you covering that gap consciously, trying to bridge the gap of the value of journalism that have been lost? Is that what you are doing?
Exactly, yes, exactly. Not that they don't want to step out, they are caged. You can't report things anyhow. Even the governors will no, everybody's job is at stake. Even the governors, you think they are not working. They're also the way an average Igbo man that works in the bank finds it difficult to operate. Is the way they find it difficult to operate. We saw what happened in River State, Port Harcourt. Why did they declare state of emergency? So if you mess up, they will declare it and nothing will happen. So whatever the presidency say, they kind of obey. Okay? So what I'm trying to do is to bridge the gap. Even I'm looking for a way to build a community that will help out. A community that where if something is happening in Olo, we have a first-hand information. And because information is power, information is everything. They are afraid of information. They are afraid of the atrocities coming to limelight. If I tell you what they are doing in the southeast, the atrocities, but because of our reports, is pushing them back. Like what's happening in Ezago now. Before the military will attack any other village again, they will think twice because they want to move into Enugu. And the good news is the village have taken the military to court. Then the bad news is the young man that granted me interview, that was why I wanted him to play. That boy has been in detention since 15th May. That boy was in detention as I speak. That boy's house was burnt. His wife's business was burnt. That was the report where I went to the hospital to visit the wife when she gave birth. That woman went into labor by forced labor out of shock. She had a lot of bleeding and all that. In fact, I made posts that people should please contribute for them to rebuild their house and then start their business. This is the campaign I was making. But I was asking them for their number. The the military, when they came to burn their house, picked their phone. So they don't have phone. So I couldn't reach them. So I started finding ways to reach them. So at a time, the Okada man that carried me, I put the number of there was a number I put. I called the guy. He was now the one telling me that that guy has been was arrested. I went to Enugu, called the sister. So I reached the sister. That was when I said they might arrest me because I give the report. If they can arrest the poor man they burned his house, probably they will arrest me. And I'm willing. I'm going to go there, let them arrest me, try to arrange for. But my lawyer said I should not go. I should get in contact with the family. Let's give them a lawyer. But when I met the sister, she said they don't want to blow up the whole thing, that they are trying to talk to the police. They will release him on Wednesday, which is day before yesterday. But when I spoke to her today or yesterday, they said they've not released him yet. So these are the things that happen. Nobody will report it. No media will report it. Okay. So that guy is still in detention as we speak. He was
Okay.
innocent. According to her, they said they've come to their house, they've investigated, they've checked his phone, and now saw that he's not part of ESN because they were thinking that he's part of ESN. And my question is, what if he's part of ESN? So many people have been picked like this, labeled ESN, because I think they arrested about four. There was a young lady I called, Chisom. They just released her. They picked her up. That my report was what put them on their toes. So it is to closing the gap. That was why I was very upset when my people were celebrating that some people are saying, and now the Yoruba are saying, I said we're not on the same page. They are protesting. Nobody's shooting them. Come and protest in Southeast, they will shoot you. So I think it is time we come together and fight, have this
and fight this. It is terrible. It is so bad. I have so many. My business in Enugu is under attack by the government. Is under serious attack by the government. So these are the things.
Yes, somebody sent a question across. I said I should ask you, returning back to the Igbo Women Association, the IWA, is there any program to tackle um, what is it called? Illegal women women trafficking. Is there any program the Igbo Women Association have to tackle women trafficking of the trafficking of Igbo girls? Is there any such program? If there is
Yes, it
none,
will be.
if there is none, you can also put it on the initiative.
Yes, we have it under, I think it's under census and population. What we are looking at is to combating selling of children, stealing of children, all those kind of things. So also, child trafficking will also, be part of it. Like I said, we are at the embryo stage. Okay, as we move on, like I said, funding is also another thing. You want to, like our teachers in Enugu, they said they want to be visiting schools. They will print T-shirts, be visiting school and be talking to schools on the importance of Igbo language. These are also funding. So I think part of our challenge, we are just growing little by little on what we can afford. Part of the challenge is,
Based on the
yeah,
resources
yeah, we
available.
are moving at the pace we can afford. But I think by the time we grow fully, I'm sure that will be part of it.
That is quite energetic of you. I can feel your energy even from miles away. It is interesting. I know that in families, if a child doesn't take the character of the father, then the child might take the character of the mother. One of you must inherit the character of one of your parents. Among your two parents, whose character do you, in terms of your personality, who do you look at, whose character did you inherit among your two parents? this is a
Okay, I
pers-
think
this is a personal question now.
yes, yes, I think it's very interesting. It cut across. I think I was, according to them, I was reincarnated by my grandmother, and she was alive when she reincarnated me. Actually, my mother was was the woman that um took Olu women to about women riot. She was a great activist, very great activist. Okay, so I think people that knew her says most of her my behavior I took after her. Very bold, highly confrontational, highly disciplined. And then I think I also took a little bit of my mom. My mom is a very, very strict woman, very, very strict and upright. In fact, there was a day my mom quarreled with a woman. I mean, when there are sometimes women will quarrel, real quarrel. And they were going to meeting and we were going to the farm. So I followed her. So I had to stay while they do meeting briefly before we go to the farm. So that's her enemy. That's a case. And then we are judging it. To my surprise, my mom judged in her favor because she was right. Even as a child, I was not happy. So I said, Mom, how can you judge for that woman that insulted you? She spoke in our language. She said, "Nwam, ikpere onye iro gị ikpe gị rabiri ya anya." You get it? At all times, you must do what right, irrespective of who is involved. Because she said, what goes round comes around. If you judge against her, even if she's in the right, tomorrow, someone else. So that is some discipline my mom is. So I think I took after her when it comes to discipline and strict. Then when it comes to activism, I think I took more of my grandmother, by extension, part of my dad. I didn't really take much of my dad. My dad is an educationist, an old school educationist. My mom is a very local.
woman, very local, highly cultured. But my dad is more of, has this mixture of Western in him, who can, sometimes you try to be diplomatic. So I don't like being diplomatic. So I would say my mom and my grandmother.
That's quite interesting because I know that a lot of people will be wondering where do you get this type of character and the gene and all the all the disposition. So it's important that our audience have a clear understanding of your personality because I know that to some extent people misunderstand you because of certain stand you've taken, especially when it comes to the issue of IPOB, and how you have shifted positions, based on your conviction. I don't want us to dive much into what has happened and the perception people have about you, because I personally can see through your passion. Most of the time, intention is the most important thing, not what is perceived or what is second guessed. Uh, Anybody who sees you understand that you have the best of intentions without any bias, because you need to take off bias to be able to see clearly someone's intention. Now, I know that you are a unity builder. You are somebody who, especially within the Igbo community, we've talked about Igbo unity because we'll be running up this program in a very short period of time now. I want to ask you a very straightforward question. What advice do you have for the Igbo? I know you've talked about the ways to Igbos to unite, but I want to make it a bit exclusive with this question. What advice do you have for the Igbo in terms of how we can unite our people to come together to fight a common cause, especially considering the amount of insecurity and the threat we are facing today in our neighbor.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you asked the question of why I shifted ground or something.
Yes, but to a
Okay,
very large extent, yeah, we saw your
okay,
shift in position, uh, especially when it comes to the issue of IPO, because I know that at some point you participated in protest, you were vocal, and to some extent you shifted position and you drove a bit in a part of criticism, of
yeah.
certain things that didn't go well with you, which a lot of people misunderstood. But I don't want us
Eh,
to that, because if we go into that, we
No,
might
no,
not be
no, no,
able
no.
to
I'm
end
not
this
going to. No,
program.
no, 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 no. I'm not going into
Yeah.
exclusively. There is nothing even to go exclusive about.
Yes.
Everything is open. I
Okay.
did not
But
change.
what I want us to talk about right now is because I know you are somebody that is passionate about Igbo unity.
Now, this question will also lead to the Igbo unity. It's part of that
Yes,
Igbo unity. Yeah, people
exactly.
think I shifted ground. I did not shift ground.
Okay,
Till
so
today,
go ahead.
till today, I still advocate. Maybe I'm the highest advocator of Mazen Namde Carlos' release and his support. Now, the difference that looks like I'm shifting ground is this issue of unity. While trying to go close, while covering what was happening at home, I started picking certain things. Nobody is perfect. I think the problem is people seeing Mazi as someone you cannot criticize, or if you observe something you think is wrong, don't say it. That is wrong. Till today, I still maintain that that is wrong. As a leader, you must you must present yourself for scrutiny, to be accountable, to answer questions. So it is this asking question that people are perceiving to be insult. No. Okay. Now, after the whole thing, I fought because I knew he was going to be convicted. And the process at which he was convicted, I did not like it. At the time, I was working, I don't know that the IPOB still exists. Sly Onya called me to come and cover because of my vocal and my boldness, and I did a good job in covering his. I even went to court. I observed a lot of things that shouldn't have taken place. Okay, I didn't come out to start talking. And I'm not going to talk about things that went on. I went to the Sokoto prison to meet him and to make him address these issues. Majorly the division in IPOB, which I think contributed to him being jailed. One, two, on social media, there is civil war going on within the particles of IPOB which he leads. I think that is where people are misunderstanding me. Me trying to tell him, sir, you can't make mistake two times, okay? You can have three, four groups calling you leader, and this group are fighting and on the neck of each other. He didn't speak well. That's one. Two, there is need for us to be under one umbrella, speak with one voice, to concentrate to bring you out. That is the basis of this argument, too. I went there to say what is going on. Where is IPOB? Because when we are covering the court case, I didn't see IPOB. In fact, when I asked his siblings, where are IPOB? They will wave it at a time. Dr. Slayonya said they have compromised. He used that word. Okay? So when I now went to prison to confront him, and I said, who are DOS? Where are IPOB? He laughed and said, DOS is the leadership of IPOB, and I'm their leader. I say, are you saying that IPOB is lazy? He said yes. I said, now how did you get entangled with Simon Ekpa? He said simply, we say you should start helping talking. I said, which is good, everybody is talking. And I said that small gap, you cannot be in prison and give somebody power. You can't control it. If you want to give power, it has to be under your group so that it can be controlled. So the best thing now is for you to come out, make a statement, dissolve every other group. You told me here that you are the leader of IPOB. If there anybody that likes what you are doing should go and join IPOB. If they don't, let them do their own, but remove themselves from you, because your name, you are an icon now. Anybody that stands and say, Mazin Namdekalu told me to do this, Igbos will follow. So there is a lot of confusion. Then the social media war have to stop. It's disgracing us. That was the discussion. And then I also complained to him the things I saw about his siblings. That is not good. In fact, he told me to give him proof. And I told him this journey we came is a proof. It was proven there. And he assured me. I left. I came out innocently. I went to the same radio station. They asked me, you went to visit Manzi. What happened? I narrated what happened. The next day, that was how this attack on me has started small, 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 small. So at a time, so when they now created the 100 men, I now asked myself, what are we doing? Is this a joke or something? So, online, the conversation started and it started getting heating up. I didn't like what is happening. So that was just, I didn't shift ground. He's still the leader of IPOB. He never said he's not the leader of IPOB. I still support him. I still support IPOB. But the thing is that he must do things proper. Okay? And he must be held accountable for his action. That one, I'm not accepting it. You can't be my leader. You can't say you represent me and we cannot ask you question. Even when people ask healthy question, they are being attacked. Everything is being labeled insult. People were protesting against Tinubu today, and they were calling him Tinubu Ole, Tinubu thief. Tinubu must account. He's a leader. We talk to our leaders. Why can't we talk to him? Now, what kind of Biafran nation are we going to get if this is what it's going to be? So that is just the misunderstanding. I still support him. I still respect him. But I said things must be done properly. You are representing people and you must be accountable to them. And that brings me to that Igbo unity. I knew how important it is for us to be united. You cannot fight this front with a divided house. I will tell you something. The one said, if he had known that there are some Igbos buying military equipment or that he would have poured that money into Saudi, they would have helped him to fight the war. I think that is happening in our land today. That Tinubu
and Buhari are applying that divide them, pour money, and let them kill themselves. And that was exactly what happened from 2021 to 2024. That division. Okay? And they knew how important Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is, that with him in their hands, they can be able to create these bodies they can use. Right now, anybody can stand. Most of these people talking on social media, they can grab one person and start telling that person what to do. So creating this crack is disturbing the movement and disturbing him. Let me tell you, the plan is to get him, because IPOB and ESN is what is stopping the jihad in the southeast. What we don't know is that IPOB is, if not the biggest movement in the world. Take for instance that before Mazi was arrested, IPOB was intact. Look at Ude Ebube and how strong IPOB was, and look at it now with this division. Look at what it had. Look at what IPOB passed through from 2023, trying to. How many of their members were splitted all over the place? And to think that the man that should unite them is in the middle. Everybody is claiming him to be his leader, and there is confusion all over the place. And somebody said, someone like me who has contributed so much should not speak, and said, let's do it properly. What is the essence of dividing your body when you know ukwazus and okono, you can't break it. But when you split it, you can easily break it. So what are we doing? I'm not going to be part of those that will see such a thing and not talk. And then when I complain, you will say I'm insulting him. And then what moral right do we have to insult Tinubu? What moral right do we even have to demand for this Biafra? If we are not going to get it on equity, if you are going to suppress voice of the truth, till today and till tomorrow, I stand my position. I respect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader of IPOB, but he must be brought to scrutiny because he is leading people. And this, our unity is very, very crucial and very important. And he must unite IPOB and put them under one umbrella and then communicate power. He cannot be in the hands of his enemy and rule. It doesn't make sense. Let us borrow from Mandela and ANC. IPOB, I'm looking at IPOB like ANC. The moment Mandela was arrested, he removed every power so that your enemy cannot use you. I think the issue is Mazi staying in prison and calling the shots. Enemies are penetrating. So he should be told to unite his house. It is important for him to come out. Nobody is talking about him coming out. Nobody is talking about the struggle anymore. People are even celebrating as if he will come out tomorrow. I was in court the day he was jailed. He did not present any defense. I was there. I was there when the judgment was read. I told his siblings before that judgment that if Mazi is not sent to death sentence, he will get life imprisonment. They said, no, America will do this, America will do that. I said, not be this one that they see. Now, so they play. They send this guy to life imprisonment. And remember, when that judgment was being read, the judge said, what he deserves is that if you say this now, people will be abusing you. They will say you are promoting, but that's the reality on ground. The judge said, what he deserved is death sentence. But because the world frowns at death sentence, they are giving him life imprisonment. Now, let me tell you, the window of that death sentence is still open. He is under appeal. This appeal they are celebrating, they are not presenting any defense by the standard of what I witnessed in the High Court. Remember, they will carry the file of High Court to Supreme Court. You are not bringing fresh witness. And we're here joking. We are here playing. And people, they say that they love him so much, are not even making any effort or showing any utterance that shows that they are working for his release. Or they are busy fighting, dragging leadership. And they will tell you when he come out. I will be like this and said, do you think federal government broke international rule, go to Kenya, bring this guy back, suffer, try him for 4 years, jail him for life imprisonment, only to open the gate of the prison for him to walk out? I think that's the irony. The earlier he brings IPOB, if he destroy IPOB, that's the end. The earlier he put his house in order for us to look for ways, though, ways, because this case has been so much damaged by the people that handled that case. The same court, when they say as if Nigeria is against, I said no. You see, courting is technical. It's not about whether you are right or wrong. Technical, you must prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. The same court that Ozokome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor got him discharged and acquitted, the same court convicted him of life imprisonment, and we are not thinking. So the earlier we manage with the area we rearrange, come together, block every loophole, and work for his release, the better for him. And for people like us who are confronting the truth, and people are calling us names, it's a matter of time. Everybody will come to realize the truth. But my prayer is that it shouldn't be too late before we realize the truth and do the right thing.
Thank you very much, Lolo. I really appreciate that rendition, and you've given the opportunity to express yourself. I'm looking at the comment section. A lot of people are applauding you. We
Thank
have
you.
also just a few individuals also commenting contrary, which is natural because you cannot
Of course.
satisfy everybody and you cannot meet everybody's need. But I think you've made your case very, very clear. And from the beginning of the program, we saw how the entire episode grew from security to the organization you lead, and how we've also been able to see your intervention, your contribution, your support for IPOB, which is quite appreciated globally. A lot of people appreciate uh, your contribution to IPOB, especially globally. Many might not understand your energy. Many might not understand you properly because a particular format have already been built around their understanding and their ideology. So when something contrary comes in, there is this form of kind of resistance to to already build ideology. So we understand some of these things, and we want to really appreciate you for coming to this program. We'll be rounding up this program. I know that it's a program we all waited in anticipation. Even when the flyers were going around, a lot of people were looking at, let them come and see what Madam Punk is coming. Let's see what Madam Punk is bringing to the table on this one. But they even forgot that you also Madam Pinto. So
Yeah,
so I used to tell them that they are just meeting you for the first time, because the first time I had encounter with your interview was also on Voice of the People, and it was quite interesting. I also follow one of our barrister. I think his name is it Barrister Darlington or so. All
yeah,
of
yeah,
you have kept that. Yes, all of you
yeah.
have kept that. All of you
Station.
have kept that station alive. In fact, I used to follow Voice of the People regularly at work. I put on my earpiece and they deliver interesting program. And most of the time, I even record some of the programs there to share with my comrades because I understand that that station also is a station that is a bit, a bit neutral, and they have
Yeah.
their work cut out for them, in terms of politics and commentaries. So we want to appreciate you, and we promise that anytime you are free, you feel like joining us, BTV Europe is always open. Today we are not today we are not going to open the line for questions. Maybe some other time in the future we may be able to do that. We've talked about Igbo unity, which is your area of strength. Importantly, you've done a lot in uniting the Igbos, trying to also make sure that the Igbos return to their culture in language and in their way of life, which is, for me, is part of the thing that is lacking today. And it is quite commendable that you have been given this mission, and that you are also obeying the voice of Chukwu Okike, who have sent you on this errand. And I can guarantee you that as long as it is God that sent you on this, you're not going to have any harm on your way, because God will always guide you. Chukwu Okike will always
Can
guide
I chip in my last word?
you. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I like Igbo. Ana m ekene unu ndị BTV. Mr. Patrick, you've been so wonderful. I've been listening to your program, especially. In fact, let me say thank you to Mr. Achika Edoziem. He's a great guy, and thank IPOB for there's this feeling of peace, around it, and I think you should keep it up. Yeah, ndị be anyị biko ana m ayọ unu. Ama m na lot emene na IPOB. Enwere ihe onye Yoruba kụziri m ịkpọ ọnụma. Ọ sị na the greatest weakness ndị Igbo bụkwa ịkpọ ọnụma. Anyị na-eji ịkpọ ọnụma emebi ihe. Na most of ihe a na-eme n'ụwa na Nigeria a na-amụta anyị n'aka anyị bido ya anyị were ọkpọ ọnụma. Ana m ayọ onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo biko at this critical time, ọwụwa ha ihe a na-akpọrọ ọnụma o doo na-ewu na ọkụkọ anya na ihe a na-eme na Nigeria wu jihad. Ọkwụ nọrọ ndị amị egbupụsiri isi, ọ ndị Boko Haram ha were n'amị na-egbuchi ha now around guy up. Biko n'udo dodo, ọ bụrụ na enwere ka isi nọ na IPOB a kpasuo gị iwe n'ụzọ ọbụla, were ya otu m ji were ya na ịnọ na IPOB onwe nke ị na-azọ gị na ezinụlọ gị, biko dododo gị gbaghara unu chiata azụ bịa bịa udo IPOB ka o si wee dị mbụ. Tinyekwenu n'ọnụ tinye arụ weta n'udo. IPOB bụ otu a na-eme envy, the rest of Nigeria na-eme envy. Unu ekwekwele ka ọ daa, protect anyị ya otu ihe ọbụla unu nwere, and unu anụna na our greatest point wu peace. Biko nụ ka anyị mee ka peace. Ọ bụrụgodo na ị na-azụ isi asị gị ọ ga-enye gị isi for peace to reign, for peace aha anyị na-ekwu maka ya, biko nọdụ ebe asị gị nọdụ. Mana at this point in time, n'ọkwa unu nwa nọ na diaspora our strength, anyị nwa nọ n'ụlọ ebe a akọ nkagokwa anyị, unu nwa ka anyị na-elekwasị anya. So biko ihe ọ bụla unu nwere ike ime, ndị ga-agakwa nwa Maazị Nnamdi Kanu okwu ga-agwa ya okwu ka ọ chịkọ ndị IPOB ọnụ, then enwe onye akpasuru iwe gị hụsa gị anya aka ka ebi udo IPOB ka anyị nwee ike ichekwawa onwe anyị. Anyị emenụrọkwa ebe anyị na-azọzi nwere onwe bụrụ oru, ebe anyị na-adụ nwa anyị aka n'ọnụ, ndị iro agbabata nara anyị be anyị. Ndewonu, na-ekene gị Mr. Patrick ka unu ji wee nye m ụdịka ohere a. I'm most honored. Mgbe ị gwara m na m ga-abịa ekwu okwu m si hey onye ka m bụzi inye m ụdị ohere a na-asụ unu Chineke gozie unu, na-asịkwa oge ọbụla unu chọkwa ka m bịakwa nyekwa unu report ebe a. I'm always available. Anything for Igbo, even if you want my life, I am here to give it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lolo. Thank you very much once again. We want to say thank you very much to our viewers who have followed us for the past 2 hours now, listening. We have multiple viewership never seen before. We want to say thank you for your patience and understanding. Unfortunately, we are not opening the line today. Maybe in the future, we'll be doing that because I know that our people love asking questions, and the whatever opportunity that is given, they will always come through. And I believe that BTV have served you to the best, and will continue to encourage you to follow us, share our program, make sure you tag your friends, make sure you invite your neighbors to be part of our daily program on BTV Europe. Until we meet again, I want to say, Lolo, thank you very much, and thank you to our viewers and follower audience all over the world. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless you all. Thank you very much, and happy Sunday to many of you.
You too.
Yeah.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Hey, they are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. of people of different culture. A different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. Wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood, couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of our heroes' blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody now, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my vein. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Hey. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.